Yeah, hello everyone. So today I'll be presenting my product, which is called Workflow. I should have probably saved this till later, what everyone else has done, but this is how I've sort of gone with it. So Workflow, it's essentially a desktop app that will help office workers organise their daily tasks, minimise distractions, and increase their focus during the day. In our working lives, short-term distractions can hinder us from achieving our long-term goals, such as spending more time with family and friends, financial stability, and just more time to do the things we enjoy. Having repeatedly unproductive days can cause you to fall behind and, like a snowball effect, increase your stress levels, in turn causing you to lose focus. Whether it's in an office environment or working remotely from home, workers constantly encounter distractions, and these can be broken down into two categories: internal and external distraction. Most people blame external distractions when they can't focus, but research has shown more than 80% of the time we distract ourselves internally. Internal distraction is distraction you have inside your brain. In today's world, we are overstimulated by too many options. We prioritize tasks based on our existing needs and satisfaction. In other words, you prioritize based on your short-term benefit or satisfaction instead of long-term benefit. So what if there was a product that could help office workers minimize external distractions and also introduce methods or triggers to help them maintain or even increase their focus? Being a new product, the research methods used included desktop research, which comprised a competitor analysis, and user interviews of 7 participants that fit the problem criteria and user testing. Here's what I discovered. My affinity map groupings fell into these categories. These were based on the responses by the interviewees. First was preferred work environments. These were evenly distributed between home and workspace. Both had their pros and cons to each environment. Daily distractions were broken down between distractions at home and the office environment. Both combined had similar distractions, including phone calls, website alerts, messaging, emails, and social media. At home, the biggest contributing factors were children, outside noise, doing house chores, and eating and snacking. In the office, the drive commute to and from work was the major factor. The others were co-workers and general office noise. Daily routines included some exercise in the morning, which was pretty consistent, or so my users told me. And the majority checked their emails first thing in the morning. Current solutions got broken down into 3 categories of general, technology, and focus methods used. I'll go into these a bit more within my empathy map. So what they were saying points to pains the target group can feel at times. But I like to make the point that these were not feelings that they had all the time. They were mostly disciplined and used certain methods to keep on top of their work. You can see this by what they were currently doing. One of the main points I found interesting was people writing down their task list in a diary or daily planner at the start of their day. With all the methods used, I wanted to try and combine the techniques that were common into one digital solution. So my user Jess, she's someone who works for themselves either at home or in an office space, but the software could quite easily still be used by office employees, as the goals and pains can relate to a broader spectrum. With both environments, professionals need to time manage and schedule tasks. So onto my solutions. First ideation started with Crazy Eights and then onto UserFlow. But before I show you that, I'll quickly show you the competitor analysis chart that I'd come up with. So I thought this graphic is a good representation of where the app could sit in the marketplace. At one end, you have task management systems that are more desktop-based software. At the other end, you have mobile apps, which have one or two elements of functionality. Examples are focus timers, music apps, and task scheduling. There are more competitors, and I need to conduct some more research by using some of the other apps that are closer to my workflow app. But at this stage, based on the research, the app has a good combination of features. My user flow, I broke it down into two main functions of the app, the first time setup and the daily user flow. I'll show and explain in more detail in my Y flows and prototypes. And from my MVP matrix, the main features for version 1 of the app were task scheduling, time setting, syncing music, a timer, and notifications blocker. There are many more features you could add, such as tracking and reporting, adding subtasks, and adding clients. But as shown in my competitor analysis, whether I start to break out of what I refer to as the sweet spot in the market is something that would need further research and testing. So here's my Y flows, the preference settings described earlier. So yeah, preference settings or onboarding, I'm not sure exactly what the process is, but it's when you first start the app. So the first time process is to create an account, select an allocated time for a session, select a short and long break time. Next is the option to assign what notifications you want to block. I break these down into everything, website notifications, email, and social media. And you can have any combination here. Last is syncing Spotify music, so you can select from a focused playlist in their library. I'll quickly explain a session is an amount of time you think you can maintain focus before you need a break. An example is a common technique called the Pomodoro effect, where you work 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, repeat that 4 times, and then have a longer 30-minute break. So when I conducted the first round of user testing, the results definitely exposed some holes in my first designs. One being I had a tutorial button on the first screen, which half the participants missed altogether and just clicked the next button. The other main design problem was the users were confused when first setting the app preferences. At each stage, I had focus tips on the top of these settings. On top of the settings, I wanted them to select. That confused them as they were not sure what they were setting. So instead of having the focus tips, I changed that to have a brief explanation of what the setting was and how to apply it. And these are the focus tips I come up with from my desktop research and the interviews. I still want to have these tips, so I'm going to test placing them in between each stage when setting the preferences. And yeah, the tips are just stuff that like keep your desk tidy. One that I found was scheduling a time to do your emails during the day, which I think should be later in the day, depending on what type of role you've got. So that was that. So the next is the daily setup of the app at the start of the day. This consists of a welcome screen, add a task and break time, option to play music, and select a playlist. Once all this is done, the app dashboard is set. Upon user testing, this process actually did run quite smoothly, so I didn't have any problems with that. These are the in-app alerts. The main one that I got good feedback on that I actually liked was the last alert, which is you completed all your tasks for the day. I was thinking of just an animation of some sort, high five animation or something. It just gives the user a sense of achievement at the end of the day. And lastly, my piece de resistance is the app dashboard. Um, I think what will set this product apart is the app being on desktop. The idea of having your tasks displayed on the right of the screen, which can be easily opened or closed, I thought was an appealing feature. There's an option to change the task duration, change the break time, and add notes all within the dashboard. It also has a toggle for notification, which you can turn on and off, which is the blocker. You can change your music and scrolling quotes are at the bottom, inspirational quotes. So yeah, although not visible here, another feature I wanted to test is having the time of day next to the task. Like in a normal journal, you've got like the times. So for example, yeah, setting a time between 9 and 11 for the first task and so on throughout the rest of the day. Another feature that is also not in this low fidelity version is colored coded task fields. So completed tasks might be red, a current task might be green, and upcoming task blue. Again, this would be tested. And that's my workflow app. Thanks for listening.